time to be the GOAT. It's time to enter God mode, man, let's get it going. I wanna be the greatest, energy is overflowing. I know I'm stoking the fire, my desire's taking over, not time.
Okay, you beautiful friends, welcome back to the baddest in my truck, and it's that time once again. I know it's been a while since I've delved into anything that is Sonic related. I do apologize about that, but I get distracted so darn easily. But we're about to jump into some more Sonic related material and learn the lore of Scourge in the Archie comics. I'm on the Archie comics kick lately for Sonic and wanting to know more about that. And that's where we're going with this. The evil counterpart to Sonic, or at least that's how he started. I do know that much. I don't know everything about him, but I do remember that we went over that one issue of Sonic, I think it's issue 150, where the evil version of Sonic uses everyone not knowing who he is to get the girls. So, yeah, there's that issue that we dealt with, but nonetheless, we are here and we're going to... I honestly can't remember who the creator was. I downloaded this video probably a couple months ago at this point, and I can't remember who it's from, but I will have that information once I have this uploaded and all that good stuff. So, of course, go over there, check out their video for full context without all my pausing and stopping and stuff like that, because, yes, I do pause and stop a lot for the commentary that I try to add to everything. I don't just let the video play and just not say anything. So, other than that, I can't think of nothing else to say other than the thing that I need to get better about. If you like this video, hit the like. If you feel so desirable to share it with whoever you need to share it with. And that came off as weird, but you know what? Like, share, subscribe, hit the bell, all the stuff that YouTube wants you to do. I don't do that very often. It's something that I need to get in a routine of actually saying before I jump into videos. So, before I ramble on too much more, let's go ahead, shut up, and let's learn the lore that is Evil Sonic / Scourge. So, 3, 2, 1, and play.
Long before the Archie Sonic comic would adapt our way past coolest Hog's most iconic counterparts, the world of Mobius was introduced to Evil Sonic. This fella hailed from the Reverse Mobius, a world where the good were bad and the bad were good. And what screams bad guy more than a black jacket, boots, and some shades, baby?
Pause. Okay, I'm sorry for pausing so quickly, but for me, for some reason, I haven't heard the name Mobius nearly enough. Now, I'm hearing Mobius now in the context of where Sonic is from, I think, for the first time. Or at least it's clicking in my head for the first time, and I'm like, oh, that's the name of his planet. Cool. And then, of course, we got Reverse Mobius, which is everyone's the reverse of who they are. So, cool. Let's continue. And
results varied. Evil Sonic is exactly what he appears to be, a punk looking for trouble, often a lackey or punchline in his own low-stakes schemes. No one respects him, he gets one-shotted by Antoine, and most importantly, by the time he appeared as the pseudo-protagonist of the comic's 150th milestone issue, I barely even registered his presence as a character anymore. This guy's grand plan is to use Sonic's good name to hit on all the girls in town, something so stupid that it should be at least somewhat funny, but instead is just boring, because everything from the writing to the art was played so straight. Evil Sonic just lacked enough charisma to make his very basic concept stand out from the comic's usual writing quirks. Like, sure, he may want to grab the booty, but Sonic is out here telling Shadow to get laid, so who's the real Hedgehog here?
Balls, okay. I don't even remember him telling Shadow to go get laid, but that's literally all I remember about that one issue that we went over. So, all he was doing was trying to get all the girls because he's like, hey, yeah, I'm Sonic. Yeah, you know, hey, come on over here, hit on me. So technically, though, he did get one. And it kind of makes me feel weird knowing that it's essentially YouTube algorithm doesn't like the word, but without her consent to know that he wasn't Sonic. So Yeah, that was a kind of a weird issue. So, either way, let's continue. Play.
In the end, Evil Sonic became a gag that had more than run its course, and so when a new creative team came on board, I was more than ready to say sayonara, simp, to this waste of space. But then, it happens. Something changes. Evil Sonic goes green.
Hey losers, Scourge here. You're probably wondering why I'm laying here.
Balls, okay. So, yes, I do recognize that he's got a little bit of an advertisement going on. I'm possibly going to skip that part of it, and I'm possibly not. I don't know. But yes, this is all I really know about who Scourge is he comes from, the Reverse Mobius Sonic, and that's the evil Sonic for this world. So that's all I essentially know is he is Scourge, essentially. Pretty much Sonic, but green. So, well, evil Sonic, but green. That's all I've got in my head. What else do I know? Nothing. So that's what we're doing, is learning the lore of Scourge. That's the only thing I can think of to say, other than let's possibly skip this ad. If it jumps to something else, then I skipped it. If it continues, then I didn't skip it. So let's continue and play. Balls. Okay. So I guess he's in Discord or something. He's talking. Okay. I think this might be a little bit of a little skit little thing. But thanks to the advertisement that he ran, I did find out that this was lowart. That's the name of the channel. So hopefully I remember to put links and all that stuff down in the description and all that stuff. But what we got him saying right here is, dude, get in here now. We got a problem. So let's see what the problem is. And play.
Hello? Hey, what's up?
This prick just ran an ad on my video. I'm gonna need some backup.
Let's do some jam.
Sonic the Hedgehog, Shadow the Hedgehog, whatever. Who cares? Because the new hotness is a real Scourge. Scourge the Hedgehog, a name and a character that is every bit as silly yet weirdly awesome as he sounds. A walking, talking Sonic recolor with a backstory that feels like something ripped straight out of a forgotten Sonic fanfic. After all, having caught the eye of the #1 hottest female Sonic character, Evil Sonic would steal the power of the Master Emerald for his 17th birthday, turning him into a permanent halfway super form and giving him cool sharp teeth, a cool attitude, and an even cooler name, Scourge the Hedgehog.
Okay, so on his 17th birthday, he stole that emerald. So, oh my gosh. So does that mean when he was Evil Sonic, he was way younger, like maybe 15, 16? Because that makes that issue of Sonic that I went over that last time that much weirder. Yeah, holy crap. So we had 15-year-old Evil Sonic out here doing the girls dirty like that. Okay, holy crap. Wow. Okay, let's continue. Like
Leave it to Patrick Spaziante, one of the first Sonic fans to work on the comic, to design the greatest Sonic clone of all. The sharp teeth, the red Sega-branded sunglasses, and that perfect emerald green fur with the sick twin scars on his chest. Scourge's design is immaculate, and makes it crystal clear that this guy is going to get as much love, attention, and personality as any of those precious game characters through these in-your-face poses and expressions. Not because he deserves it, but because he demands it. Scourge just has the gall to push Sonic to the side, the gall to steal his girlfriend and endlessly roast him for it, and the gall to make me enjoy it. Because, I mean, is Scourge really that different now from Evil Sonic? Nope, He's still getting in over his head and freaking out. He's still being ridiculously petty, like when his birthday present for himself is just to flex on Sonic and Shadow, or when he gets knocked down yet still manages to catch his precious crown. He's still saying things like babe or wuss, and he's still got his dumb jacket. But now, that jacket has and is flames. Because while Evil S was just a bad boy Sonic, Scourge is the bad boy Sonic.
Oh, okay, so the way he's describing Scourge, it makes me want to go back and just go to eBay or something, because that seems to be the only place you can find Sonic comics, because you can't find them online. And well, technically you can find them online if you know the right websites, but you know, that's besides the point. But makes me want to go and read the daggone Sonic comics with Scourge in it, because this guy seems like the best thing ever from the 90s. I mean, I don't know any words. I'm presuming 90s, maybe late 90s. Yeah, Flame Jacket, definitely late 90s. Maybe even early 2000s. But my goodness, the way he's describing him makes me want to go and read these things. Granted, I know once I start reading it, it's going to kind of be like, it seems a little childish, but I like it. It's no more childish than some of the TMNT stuff I read, the MLP stuff I read, heck, I can't even think of everything, but anything and everything that I read pretty much, yeah, it could come off as childish, but jeez, this guy's describing him pretty awesome. Let's continue and play.
Like, bitch!
What's the matter, big man? We play too rough? Nice powers, kid. Use them to get a less stupid haircut. No rotor, princess? Your team isn't the same level of lame without him.
Wow,
how could Sonic resist a wit like that? Yeah, you run away. Can't nobody take down King Scourge.
You tell him, baby. Sweet, it's good to be back. And it sounds like there's a fight going on?
Fucking traitors! And it's not just the Fiona thing or that I'm better looking. It's that all it would take is one bad day and you'd be just like me.
Pause, hold on. Did Scourge just do a Joker reference? Just one bad day. I think I might like Scourge a lot. Holy crap. Good gosh, he is pretty freaking awesome. I like him. Good gosh. Just one bad day. That's all it takes. Continue. Play.
So yeah, not only is Scourge a Sonic knockoff, he's a Joker knockoff too. But Sonic's response here, and the comic's consistent response to Scourge's antics, is what allows this inclusion to be so fun, instead of frustrating.
No, that's not it, Scourge. It's because all it would take is a bit of selflessness, a little bit of decency, and you'd be just like me.
To Sonic, the truly hateable thing about Scourge is that he's an embarrassment. I mean, this is his opposite? Please, how silly. The inverse of the hero of Mobius is just some chump, a bully from a world full of bullies. In a way, Scourge starts to feel like the underdog of his own story, which makes me kinda root for him a little as he consistently tries to ruin Sonic's day, doing his best to steal the spotlight whenever he can. Knuckles is being possessed and the world is about to end, so now we need to work together to stop him.
Welcome back, old man. What do you want said in your eulogy?
Our heroes are taking it easy after they just fought a war.
I wanted to see my girlfriend again. I love how she plays it like you two are for real.
And after back-to-back life or death scenarios, after so many radical changes to the lives of our heroes, well, they are literally right in the middle of trying to tear down the defenses of their greatest enemy to prepare to defeat Dr. Robotnik once and for all, well, Sonic is called back home. Something's going down.
Heads up to any jerks present, the Hedgehog is in the house.
Attention to all the scrubs of this zone. The king has arrived. Respect.
Balls. Yeah, Scourge is back, you know, hey. You know, yeah, everything's fine when Scourge comes around. Oh my gosh. I like Scourge. I didn't think I would like him, but I do. Holy crap, he is King Scourge. And pretty freaking awesome. I know I'm repeating myself a little, but holy crap. He's just got like this attitude that's like, I don't care what's happening. I'm going to have a good time regardless of what everyone else is dealing with. So his attitude is pretty freaking awesome. So Hey, I like to live every day like he does. Like, hey, carefree and just like, hey, let's take life as it comes. And if possible, have a witty comment about it as well. Let's continue.
That's right, losers. It's King Scourge, the man with a plan so great Eggman wishes he thought of it. King Scourge is here to steal Sonic's childhood clubhouse. And yes, he did just stand behind a portal for 10 minutes waiting for Sonic to show up.
I'm king now. You kneel to me, and I don't need to deal with another one of you. Ah! Fuck! I'll let you know when I'm ready to conquer your parts of the planet, Eggman.
Then again, why pass up one uppity hedgehog for another?
Ah!
Yo, Scourge, miss me?
No! Ah!
My guy just can't catch a break. This was supposed to be his arc, his grand comeback, and Hog Almighty, why isn't it happening? But worst of all for my poor, pathetic boy is that real-world time has passed. Sonic has finally faced many of his most famous hedgehog foes in both the games and the comics. And so naturally, Shadow shows up to steal some of the spotlight. And then Metal Sonic. Oh, and Amy's here too, of course, along with her evil classic counterpart. And hey, is that Robbo the Hedge? And enough! My name is Silver the Hedgehog. I've journeyed from the future to find this Sonic and destroy him. He is.
You coward.
Okay, it's a technicality, but still. This issue is genuinely hysterical, thanks to the never-ending onslaught of character-based comedy. It's stuff like Shadow's first words when seeing Scourge being, "Why does he have a crown?" Like it offends him or something. It's how to
Falls. I've got to start reading these comic books because the way this person is just referencing everything, it's like, holy crap, this is just a fun time. And everything is just going haywire. I mean, look, the frame that I've got, I don't know, sometimes it's a millisecond off from on my editing and stuff from where I have to pause. But right now I'm seeing Sonic, Shadow, down in the left, bottom left, I doubt y'all can see that. We've got Silver the Hedgehog, we got Amy, we got the metal robot Sonic. We got so many characters just popping up out of nowhere. It's crazy. And then Shadow and Scourge, I feel like them two would get along a lot. Because Shadow is this very sarcastic, no, not sarcastic. I don't know the right words I'm looking for, but I know everyone who's made it this far, y'all know Shadow. He's melodramatic. I'm not sure if that's even the word I'm looking for. But then you got this other Sonic, Scourge, who's like, "Hey, I'm here, y'all. King Scourge has made it." It's like he's just carefree, and it's kind of like an odd couple kind of coupling. I think it would work out really well. Let's continue. And
delightfully absurd the stupid page with all the Hogs overlapping conversations is. It's how Silver the Hedgehog's first appearance in Archie Sonic is just here so that the comic can spite Scourge and make him feel less and less significant to his own story arc. When Sonic the Hedgehog, but he's also Robin Hood, is getting more focus, you know it's intentional. In the end, Scourge's desperate plight to insert himself as the main antagonist of the comic, to be someone who rivals Sonic and surpasses him, an all-powerful king, it just gives this whole arc such a fun energy. And the value of that can't be understated. It genuinely made me laugh out loud on multiple occasions, and eventually, it even got me thinking. Because, oddly enough, during one of their many scuffles, Scourge reaches out to Sonic. "You're full of untapped potential. Conquer the stupid little planet. Then we can rock the entire multiverse. Twin unstoppable kings." But wait, why would this character, who is so focused on himself and what makes him great, even entertain the idea of joining forces or sharing any of the glory with the person he hates? Well, that's where we get one of Scourge's best stories. Father and son.
Here, Scourge breaks into Sonic's home for a late-night surprise pummeling, but unexpectedly, someone else is there to greet him. Sonic's father, Jules. So the showboating loser tries to intimidate Sonic's dad, poking and prodding at him to get a reaction, surrounded by these hypnotic red swirls. He monologues to Jules about his successes, about how far he went to conquer his planet, and how while Sonic's father may be a robot, Scourge's father simply isn't.
balls. Okay. So when I first saw, there is obviously a lot in the comic books that I missed because I'm presuming what happened. Because as soon as they said Sonic's father, first I was like, wait a second. I didn't know there was a father. Granted, yeah, Sonic has a dad, but I'm like, I didn't know there was a character for his dad, though. Y'all know what I mean. But then I saw a robot and I started thinking, wait a second, that's a robot. How can that be his dad? But now I'm thinking, wait, hold on. Something happened in these comic books where probably Sonic's dad ended up having his consciousness put into the body of one of these metal robot Sonics. And then that's just his dad there. So, yeah, I must have missed a lot. There's so much. But yeah, holy crap, that threw me off so much because I was about to pause when he said Sonic's dad, but then I saw the robot, so I had to let it keep going for a second. But yeah, let me listen to this story, the storyline for Scourge, and I'm liking the artwork in this issue so far for Scourge, but let's continue and play.
As a red something oozes behind him. But Jules is unfazed, and Scourge's hypnotic aura dissipates with a wave of his hand. No amount of self-aggrandizing is going to convince Jules that Scourge is anything but a coward, someone who takes the easy way out, using violence to make themselves seem big. Ultimately, Jules sticks to the conviction he expressed at the start of the story. I almost died saving my son once. So Jules wants Scourge to know he won't go down without a fight that he knows he has no chance of winning, but one he faces with zero hesitation. However, Scourge tries one last time to control the situation. The panel malformed around him. Still though, Jules stands and the panel snaps into place again, consuming the lies Scourge tells himself, as he says, "I am not your father. I was in the front lines of the Great War. I won't go down quietly. And while you may not care about the loss of your Jules, I'm certain my son will be very upset. Do you want that on your head too?" Just a bunch of empty words. You're no different from my old man after all. This interaction is simply brilliant. I've memed on Scourge this entire video, but before this scene, before all the other hogs arrived, Scourge does have a presence to him. Even if you can laugh at the guy, there's a confidence to Scourge that is sometimes every bit as charismatic as his true blue counterpart. After seeing Scourge reappear over and over, seeing how much love his panels get through the art, how big he feels, I almost started to buy into the hype. Maybe Scourge is a worthy rival to Sonic. He can certainly keep up with him, and we eventually see that Scourge did take over his world. We find out that while his old gang actually hates him, he beat them into submission, and that he even ripped out Evil Antoine's eye as part of the convincing. We see what was once a fun sort of villain dynamic with his girlfriend morph into threats of violence, and in this story, we find out that Scourge murdered his own father. And
Balls. Holy crap. That's a lot to take in. I know I've repeated myself, and I'm gonna repeat myself again. I need to read these Sonic comics. I might. Geez, I gotta figure out where I can go to actually get these comics, because obviously I don't want to pay bukus of money trying to get the comic books all. I want Archie, by the way. I don't want, IDW. IDW might be pretty good, but I want the Archie stuff, the stuff that everyone loves and has read. I want those. And I don't want to go to eBay spending bukus of money just to read it. It's one thing if you collect it, but it's a whole nother thing just to spend $30 on issue 1, or it's probably a $50 comic at this point for issue 1. Technically, I've got Sonic's first appearance that's in a Batman, maybe it's a Detective Comics, but it's just a little preview to Sonic the Hedgehog. So I got his technical first appearance that is a preview inside of a Batman book. But I want to read these things because this seems like an emotional issue right here that we are dealing with. And then to find out on top of everything else, Scourge killed his father. Holy crap. There is some depth to Scourge that I had zero clue about. And I know during this video, I'm not going to get the true depth of his character that I'm wanting. But I'm getting enough to kind of get my taste buds wet for more info about him. I'd be lying if I said that I don't like Scourge. Scourge seems like a really great character. So let's continue and play.
when Scourge leaves crying and writes off this entire conversation as nothing but empty words. it leaves the reader with so much to consider. Scourge isn't just some cool, goofy meathead. No, every one of his actions is filtered through a need to validate his existence, a need for others to validate his existence. Even if it's mostly through fear, anger, or violence, through the only way he's been able to define and accept himself from the very start. After all, Scourge's only moments of vulnerability that we've seen, the moments he shows genuine uncertainty or fear, is when his opponent refuses to play his game, refuses to let him control the narrative, refuses to see him as anything other than the worthless nobody he fears he is. Scourge is someone who may even feel some guilt over what he did to his dad. Someone who is genuinely hurt by the idea that a father could love their son as much as Jules does his Sonic. But no matter what, Scourge is never portrayed as a character who we should feel sympathy for. His father is never mentioned again, his actions are never justified. After all, many of these tears are clearly only for himself, a result of the overwhelming self-loathing that he feels, ashamed he was made to feel so weak when he deserves to be feared, to be respected. Because Scourge isn't just aimlessly lashing out. No, Scourge is a powerful, vindictive maniac. Someone who has plans in place if he's ever made to feel.
Pause. Okay, so I see where we're going. This is the third act of the video that we're getting. We started with the first third of the video where Scourge is being portrayed as kind of a goofy, off the walls, like look at me character. Then the second perspective of Scourge was someone who has something more behind who he is as a character, with his little interaction there with Jules, which is Sonic's father, that I had zero clue about, which, holy crap, I'll probably find me a video about the history of that and get more into it. And now we're going to get the maniac portion of who Scourge is. So, yeah, would I like Scourge's actions? Obviously not, if he killed his dad. But him as a character seems incredibly interesting to me. Holy crap. He's a guy who's a goofball, but yet has a sensitive side, seemingly, with his tears. And then also has a plan for anything that comes his way. I mean, he took over a planet, for goodness sake. Let's continue and find out more.
A week again. A throne stocked with Anarchy Beryl.
Anarchy Beryl? Oh no. Chaos Emeralds!
All hail the king, baby.
What I love most about Super Scourge's design is the eyes. He feels demonic, hovering over every Sonic rival and reskin who's tried to steal his glory. That subtle, darker, vicious side of himself now at the forefront. He's the closest to true royalty he's ever been, his fur even being the color of royalty now. And yet, despite the genuine threat he presents our heroes, Scourge is still throwing out one-liners, he's still playing around, and even after he finally gets serious, he's still begging for it.
Pause, okay. Just throwing it out there? History lesson, I guess, kind of, sort of. I don't know. I don't really know history that well. But what I do know, well, I know history, but it just depends on the subject. One thing I do know, though, is the color purple is the color of royalty. That is true. Because it was normally royalty who had anything to do with the color purple due to the dyes being so expensive back in the day in order to obtain the color. So, yeah, it is the color of royalty, which is why I enjoy the color purple. Other than that, I don't know what other color I like the most. But I would say purple is my favorite color. Red is definitely a second. So, yeah. Oh, and blue. And I think red and blue make purple. Okay, I'll shut up. Let's continue. Color of royalty, though. That is true. And play. I messed that up. But that gives me my chance to say that one thing I say a lot of times. Cartoons teach us second chances are always at play. Wait, it's not what I say. I don't know what the frick I said. My mind is just blah right now. Either way, cartoons teach us that second chances are always there for us. That's closer to what I say. Let's continue and play.
Attention.
What is it with you? I gave you your chance. We could have ruled the multiverse together. But no, you decided to go the holier-than-thou route. See where that got you? You know what? Forget ruling Moebius or Mobius. I'm Super Scourge. I'll spin dash both planets in half because I can. And then I'll just keep stomping on planets until I find one that gives me the respect I deserve. Hey, I'm talking to you!
Ever since Scourge became, well, Scourge, he's prided himself on being more than just a dark mirror to Sonic. Originally, he thought he had accomplished that through his new look and his new name, but soon found that these were only superficial. When he returns, he's bragging about how he's finally accomplished something. He's earned the title of a conqueror, a king, and now a god. And he got that his way, not Sonic's. This is what makes him stand out, right? Yet in the end, Sonic defeats Scourge not by needing to rise up to meet his rival, but by simply challenging the idea that Scourge was ever one in the first place.
I've been more than a match for you since day one. I can finish you, super or not.
Prove it, tough guy.
And so, in another of endless attempts to prove his worth, Scourge is humbled. With a little thinking and a leap of faith, Sonic's theory is proven true, that a super form with no downsides like his own must come with some cost for his corrupted counterpart. And all it took was a basic insult. After that, Scourge's insecurities that have always guided him took care of the rest. So as he clings to the titles and labels he's desperately grafted onto himself, Sonic destroys the symbol that embodies them. Scourge's anger is treated once again as the temper tantrum it's always been. And the look on his face, fear, shock, and maybe even a little embarrassment, a little self-awareness as he's reminded, "You're a bully. That's it," is just perfect. In the end, Scourge's story is about a Sonic recolor desperately trying to justify his own existence. Yet by constantly redefining himself in response to Sonic, he continues to revolve around him, being defeated by that never-ending need for validation. Unlike all of Sonic's other rivals, Scourge is never able to define himself. At best, he just leans into the evil of his original name. Even after a prison break and a quill cut, Scourge's first thought is how he's gonna ruin Sonic's day. He'll never learn. Which is unfortunate. Because despite what he thinks, Scourge has been an individual since the very beginning. He's always been different from Sonic. He's always stood out because Scourge the Hedgehog has always been a bully, and he's always been a punk, and he's always been a loser. Get dunked on, nerd!
Okay. So that's why I primarily let this video play out, because I figured the last 30 seconds or so that we've got left was going to end up being like some credits and stuff like that. And geez, I better move that because he's got a little title card there at the end. Granted, I've already cut it off, but he's got a title card saying next time. But okay, so Scourge is definitely an interesting character, and I thought this was a video I downloaded that was going to give us a history of Scourge and who he is. But more than anything, I feel like this might just be kind of a character-focused type of, hey, this is who they are, and shows us different aspects of who they are. And I think for me, I think it did a really good job showing us who Scourge is. Scourge is, at the end of the day, the insecure bully who's always trying to show his might above everyone else, but somehow always gets defeated in the end. So that's ultimately what it feels like, but it also feels like Scourge is a fun character with so much depth to him that I just want to read the books now. Yeah, and on top of that, it seems like that we might have Sonic was doing the whole well, no. I was about to say Sonic was doing the whole multiverse thing all before the MCU and DC and Marvel and all that, but the multiverse, that stuff has been around since primarily the beginning, if we're being honest, because the multiverse, I mean, heck, we had literally in the late 80s Crisis on Infinite Earths, where the multiverse literally was collapsing in on itself, and it was a crisis. So, yeah, it was before Sonic. I was thinking maybe they had something going on. I don't know. That was a weird thought that was popping in my head for no reason. So, yeah, they were playing with the idea of multiverse, but it wasn't the first people to do it. But I like the idea of a multiverse in Sonic, personally. Yeah, I don't know what else I can really say or add, or Obviously, this isn't one of those, things where I'm going through it and critiquing what someone is saying, because I do those videos as well, because I just started going through fixing Ruby, on that. And that's a series where they're fixing, the series Ruby, RWBY. And they got some stuff. I agree with some stuff. I don't agree with others. There's also, My Little Pony. There's one creator that I've only agreed with one thing he said. And I go through his videos. I'm critiquing a lot and I'm critical of a lot. I don't know the person as a person, so I'm not insulting them as a person, but I am critiquing and pushing back on their, viewpoints. So I do have a few of those videos where I do critique stuff, but this was not one of those. This was one of those to just chill, sit back, have a good time, and just be like, oh crap, I didn't know this. Mobius, I didn't know that was the name of the planet. I don't know why I didn't know that until now, but hey, I didn't know it. So, I don't know. But this was a fun video. They have definitely got me into who Scourge is as a character, and I want to go and find comics that I could read. Maybe issue 1. Maybe I don't know, maybe I can do a video on issue 1 or something. I have zero clue. Let's go ahead and pass it off to y'all, though, because I need to shut up. I need to get in this store as well, get a few things and all that good stuff. Plus my mind, it's just been a long day. And then I got a long day tomorrow. For me, it's Thursday, which means tomorrow is the day I get home and I get to see the wife and all that good stuff. So I'm going to be pushing hard tomorrow. Tomorrow for me, I don't know what day it is for y'all. Because first I got to get from where I am to our warehouse, which is an hour away, and then our warehouse up to Charlotte, North Carolina, and then from Charlotte to the house. So it'll be about 9 hours of driving tomorrow, that's all. So it's not that bad, but it's busy. Either way, I'm gonna shut up. I've got to, because I know I could ramble and ramble and ramble. So that's what I'm gonna do. Passing it off to y'all. Y'all know what to do from here. Hit that like, tickle to subscribe if you're new. Don't be texting and driving. Watch what you love and love what you watch, and take it away, Mr. Rogers.
I like you just the way you are.